Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica and today we are going to be doing a pantry challenge for Easter. Now I went through my pantry and I found that we're going to be doing ham and we still have potatoes left over from when they were really inexpensive back around Christmas. So we're going to do some mashed potatoes. I want to try a corn casserole that Southern Frugal Mama made. I also want green bean casserole because we always have green bean casserole. And I always have the ingredients for that. So I want to do a strawberry pretzel salad and a lemon meringue pie because I have some very lemons that need to get used up in the fridge. So if you guys enjoy my videos, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. So let's get cooking. Starting off, what I did was I took my ham out of the freezer and then I stuck it in the crock pot with a little bit of water on the bottom, and I'm going to cook it on high all day long. The second thing I am starting to do is I am going to be making some buns. Now, this recipe is actually from Hobby Home Farms, and it's actually hamburger buns, but I have found they are so moist and good that we just use them for regular buns. So what you do is you take half a cup of the warm water and you put your yeast in there and you let it sit for 5 minutes and let it bloom. And then you take all the remaining ingredients and you stick it in the mixer and then you let it knead for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you stick it in a greased bowl, cover it, and let it sit for 1 hour in a warm spot. Okay, I am in the process of making some pretzel salad. I pulled another bag of pretzels out of the freezer. Used my food processor to grind them up. Added half a cup of sugar, which is on the bottom, and then I have half a cup of melted butter. I am going to get this stirred up. I also took 2 cups of boiling water and I added 1 package of kool-aid. And I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator. And then I'm going to stick this in the oven to bake for 7 minutes. Now, since I don't have strawberries, I used the berry medley. I ground it up in a food processor and then I mixed it in with the jello, stuck it back in the fridge to harden a little. Then I took 1 thing of cream cheese, 1 thing of Cool Whip, and 1 cup of sugar, and I'm mixing it until smooth that I will put on the pretzels. Okay, the pretzels have cooled. I'm adding this on top. I'm sealing those edges. And I'm going to pour my jello on top. Okay, I poured the jello on top and then I'm going to stick it in the fridge until we're ready to serve it. The next item that I'm going to make is a lemon meringue pie to use up those lemons that need to get used up in the refrigerator. When I was looking for a corn muffin mix in the cupboard, I found this pie crust in the back of the cupboard, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I was going to make 2, but I ended up dropping half the pie crust, so I had to throw that away. And then, so I just made 1 pie crust. I rolled it out, crinkled the edges, and now I'm going to stick it into the oven to pre-cook while I get my filling ready to go. Okay, my yolks and my whites are separated. Got my lemon juice measured out. I had 3 lemons in the refrigerator that I juiced, and then I used the rest of bottled. I have my 2 tablespoons of butter melted out. And in my pot here I have 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1½ of sugar, and then 1½ cup of water. And then I'm cooking it on medium heat. trying to get all the lumps out here. Probably whisk would be better, but oh well, we'll just use a spoon today. While I'm waiting for this to get thick and bubbly, I am starting my meringue. Now, I let my eggs sit out at room temperature before I used them, before I separated them. So I am going to add to my 3 egg whites half a teaspoon of vanilla and a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. I'm going to beat on medium speed until soft peaks form. And you know that happens when you lift up your mixer, but peaks form, but the tips curl over. Then I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of sugar and beat on high until stiff peaks. As you can see, it's starting to get thick. So I'm just going to keep stirring. It's starting to get glossy. Now that it's thick and bubbly, I'm going to reduce my heat and cook for a few more minutes before I incorporate or gradually add 1 cup of this hot liquid to the yolks. Okay, and then to my yolks, I'm going to gradually add 1 cup of the hot liquid. You got to do it very slowly, otherwise you will have scrambled eggs instead of what you want. So it's called bringing it up to temperature. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And then I'm going to pour this back into the original saucepan, turn the oven stove back on, and then cook it until it's boiling. Alright, my meringue is done. So I'm just waiting for the filling to get done so I can put that on top of hot filling. I just pulled my pie crust that's pre-baked out of the oven. I'm waiting for my last piece. Okay, it is thick and bubbly, and I put my butter in. I'm getting that melted. Took it off the heat, and I'm going to add my lemon juice, and I'm going to pour it into my pie crust. Okay, because I have a smaller pie crust than what the recipe calls for, I got out a little one. I just poured some of the meringue or lemon filling in there, so I'm going to add the meringue on top. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to stick it in a 350 oven for about 15 minutes. All right, my bun dough is ready. So I'm going to punch down. Boop. And I'm going to floured surface I got underneath of it, and I'm going to divide it into 12 buns. Now that I got the buns in individual pieces, what I'm doing is I'm taking the top of the bun and I'm pulling it down and I'm pitching it in the bottom. I'm repeating that over and over until the top of the bun is nice and smooth and it looks like a little ball. And then I kind of give it a gentle roll so that way, yes, it's very smooth and uniform. Okay, now that I got my buns, I'm going to let them sit for 10 minutes.
I need my vitamin.
Then I'm going to press them down just like I do with my bagels. Alright, I flattened those down into circles and I'm letting them rise for another 20 minutes. Meringue is done. I let it cool at room temperature and now I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator for a couple hours. Kids peeled potatoes and cut them up, so they are cooking. Alright, I'm going to make some green bean casserole, so I put in 2 jars that I emptied out of quarts of green beans, drained them. Added 1 thing of cream of mushroom. I filled that can up with some of this milk since I don't have any. And there's a lot of snow outside right now. So we're just going to mix this all up. Add some salt and pepper. Okay, and I also added, because I had a package of these crispy onions, added half of the package in here. I'm going to stir this up. Then I'm going to sprinkle the rest of the package on top, and then I'm going to bake it. Now, I want to try the corn casserole that Southern Frugal Mama made for her Easter thing. So, and I do happen to have all the ingredients. Found this in the back of the pantry. Don't mind, it's quite dusty. But she melted a stick of butter in the oven, so that's what I'm going to start with. Alright, for the corn casserole, I drained 1 can of corn. We're gonna mix it into the melted butter. 1 can of cream corn. And make it in there. I don't have sour cream, so we're going to use 1 cup of yogurt. And then my box of corn muffin mix. Alright, and I'm just going to mix it up and then I'll stick it in the oven. I'm going to put in the oven to bake. Alright, now that they've risen, I'm going to go ahead and stick them in the oven 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Alright, corn casserole is done. It tastes pretty good. The green bean casserole is done. I've been sampling that as well. Alright, the ham is done. I just checked the temperature of it. And it was 180, so we're good there. So we're just waiting for the potatoes to get done. And then we're in the buns. Alright, buns are done. And I am going to take a stick of butter and I'm going to butter the top. Like so. Alright guys, that's it for today. I did make up the mashed potatoes and there was very little leftovers. We did have a little bit of the potatoes, ham, and desserts left over, but actually the vegetables were all gone. So we did have a little bit for leftovers for the next day, but that was pretty much it. Alright, you guys have a good Easter and you guys have a good week, and I will see you next week, and God bless.